Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, 2 games, 6 points, 6 goals. The joy of 6.
Yeah.
60 times.
6 points.
If only they'd put more sand on the pitch to soak up the water, we could have had 6 on the beach.
Love it. Love that stuff.
Exeter City back in the automatic promotion places after a very solid few days' work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we said we needed to bounce back, didn't we? And that these were important couple of games.
Yeah.
And, we've done it.
We bounced back like a rubber ball in a lift.
Yep.
That's a metaphor.
Yeah, it's, isn't it?
It was good in a way. It was good to just grind those things out, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a strange couple of games, and it's not the exact, maybe not quite the performances you'd hope for, in a way.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we won both games,
I did all that stuff about 6.
Yes.
I think we scored 7. But,
We did score 7.
I was thinking about it while we were 4-1 up. There we are, never mind. Yeah. So we welcomed Stevenage, bottom of the table Stevenage, to St James Park. Beat them 2-1.
Yeah.
It went like this. Nicky Law went off injured.
Yeah. After he committed a heinous foul on one of the Stevenage players. He injured in the process of fouling that guy.
And he got injured himself.
Yeah.
Went off. Matt J came on.
What I mean in that is they were awarded a free kick for... they got the free kick. Stevenage were given the free kick for the Stevenage player, whose name I don't know, kneeing Nicky Law in the head.
Yeah.
So hard that he's concussed, presumably concussed. And that was their free kick. I mean, it was...
nonsense, wasn't it?
You could see from a mile away, it was like, baffling.
It was baffling. But Law went off, Matt J came on, and then was the architect of it all.
Wasn't he just?
He took us to 7th heaven.
And I don't mean to gloat.
Gloat away. Gloat freely.
Because we're not the only ones to have been asking these questions about young Matt J. And I'm not in any way happy about Nicky Law being missing from the squad.
No.
But look what he can do. We said, what does he have to do to get in the team? And, he's taken his chances at every opportunity, hasn't he? And, I mean...
I thought it was an excellent performance.
What a performance.
Yeah, so he put in the cross that set up Williams, who leapt like a salmon above the River Ex.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, it's Pierce Sweeney.
It was Jay.
Pierce Sweeney cross for Randell's header.
Okay. Well, Jay was well involved.
He was well involved. Maybe I might... Was it?
I think it was Jay, but whatever.
Okay.
Jay was brilliant. He was lively. He was adept at moving the ball around. Williams finished very nicely, didn't he?
Such a nice header, yeah.
Such a nice header. That I'm sure...
he's unmarked, but he loses his marker, but I mean...
I'm sure, listeners, you've seen the images of him high above the crowd, a ponytail a-waving.
Yep.
As he bounces it away. So that took us 1-0 up. And Stevenage scored fairly swiftly afterwards, didn't they?
Straight away. And it was like... And, no, they didn't.
No, they scored a bit after, and then we scored again very quickly after their
It was
goal.
Our goal was in the first half.
Yes.
Then Stevenage scored in the second half.
Yes.
So we went in 1-0 up at half time.
Yes, that's right. And then there was a very quick response from City. So the goal that Stevenage scored was really all down to Sweeney's hesitation.
Yeah, it's a kind of mix up in it between Sweeney and Aaron Martin, but it was Sweeney's
mistake. The Stevenage player leapt onto it and
absolute Pierce Sweeney cross, by the way, for Randell's.
Oh well, very very good. So the that took us to 1-1, and then there was a very quick response. So Jose kind of powered his way into the area. Couldn't get the shot away. Got it back, laid it back to Matt J.
Yeah.
Who doinked it away.
Takes a little step and then drills it into the corner. Great finish, really deserved it. Played out of his skin. his tiny little skin.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very nice to see that comeback, because I was thinking it was about 80th minute, wasn't it? They equalised.
Yeah. I mean, luckily enough, it was sort of stunned silence when Stevenage scored, because they hadn't been in the game at all. You know, we weren't exactly, we weren't at the very top of our game. Matt Jay was playing really well. Collins was having a good game, etc. But we should have been 3 or 4 up,
Yep.
And then out of nowhere, this kind of mix up. It's just a real shame actually, because Sweeney's looked really good actually. Like recently, he's been like, and that cross for, like I said, the cross for the goal, and he's just been really on his game. And then one little mistake and it lets them in. Luckily, it took no time at all for that Matt Jay goal to get us back in front again.
No, we had a really good period around the time of the first goal when we were pushing. Yeah, but you're right. Apart from that, we didn't really dominate, but neither did Stevenage have much until we plated it up for them for that equaliser. But really good to see that. Really good to see that quick comeback, that quick response. And I think that a year ago or 2 years ago, that would have ended up being a draw. We often talked, didn't we, about not really using the pressure that we had, not really putting the game to bed.
Yeah, totally.
And we didn't do that, but then thankfully we responded really well.
It almost looked like pre-Matt Taylor, end of the Tisdale reign, we kind of all over them for the whole game, or completely dominate home games, but can't get more than one goal, and then we let one in. Whereas under this season especially, we've been holding on to those 1-0s.
Yeah.
And then so that's why everyone was there was a bit of kind of disbelief when Stevenage scored. But yeah, still won.
Still won. Very grateful for that too. Then we fast forward to Tuesday night, last night, if you will. Oldham came to town, former Premier League, I wouldn't say giants, but
I was a little bit kind of all day, a little bit like apprehensive that Storm Kira was going to get the game called off, and the hail kept coming down.
Yeah.
And the pitch was already at that point of the season where it's starting to look a bit ropey,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think there's been a lot of praise for the ground staff.
Yeah, well, they literally weathered the storm.
Yeah, and they did a brilliant job to even get that pitch playable.
And it didn't look, I mean, you were there and I wasn't, but on the telly, it didn't look like, until about half an hour from the end, the mud was really causing any, difficulties.
No, you could see the pitch deteriorating in front of your eyes, and there was this patch down the kind of right-hand side where the ball just kept stopping.
I saw that. I saw at one point Sweeney was running in one direction expecting the ball to go with him, and it never did.
Yeah.
So anyway, it didn't matter. We were under pressure, weren't we? First 15.
Yeah, we started better than Oldham, and then they came back into it. And we were under a bit of pressure. They had quite a lot of the ball. They don't look as bad a team as that first half. They didn't look as bad a team as their position in the table would suggest.
Yeah.
Caused us not really causing us a huge amount of problems. A few shots actually. Ward and actually ended up parrying quite a few, and we sort of got away with a few of them. You think he's kept them out, but he's got a bit lucky with pushing them back out into the penalty area like the way he did.
Yes.
Luckily, the defence dealt with that, and we held on.
And then Richardson.
So of course Kieran Richardson's in.
Jaden Richardson.
Sorry, I keep wanting to call him Kieran Richardson.
That is a player, though, isn't it?
Who is he again? He used to play for Man United.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so he's in.
Yes.
Instead of for Dickinson.
Yes.
So Dickinson's on the bench and Richardson starts, but it's we set up with Randell on the left.
Yeah.
And Richardson on the right. Whereas what we've been seeing more recently, before Dickinson came in, was those two, but on the opposite sides. Mm-hmm. So Richardson on his unnatural left side, as we'd said, and then Randell looking good, like cutting in from the right hand side. One interesting thing from the game before, actually, I'd say, is like with Williams playing down the left hand side, he put quite a few crosses in playing on the right hand side. Sorry, he put quite a few crosses in with his right foot, and they were good.
Right.
And that's quality. I mean, that's going to cause defenses all sorts of problems if you can do that, isn't it? Because which way do you send him? You can't. You stop him cutting in, he will still cross it with his right foot. So it's brilliant to see. But they started last night. They started Yeah, opposite sides. So Richardson down the right hand side, but they were swapping, like within the first 10 minutes they'd swapped and then swapped back.
Right.
Which again is like, I think if you can make that work, I mean, you wouldn't recommend it against perhaps the top teams or the in the division or whatever, but it was causing. You could see why they were doing it, to try and just kind of confuse Oldham and cause them some problems. And yeah, and it happened, didn't it?
Resulted in a goal. So this was a J assist, I believe. Happy to be corrected.
Yeah, really nice bit of play actually. But yeah, you're right. This time it was Matt J.
But then Richardson it was an excellent finish.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It's a lovely little ding.
His first ever professional goal.
Yeah.
Well done. Well played, sir. And in the same way, I think that we watched the St James Park turf deteriorate. We're watching Williams really become something special. But I think Richardson, we've seen some growth. We've really kind of seen him come on, actually.
Oh, definitely. And I think the criticism before was, like we said, was so harsh. Yeah. He's a young player who's
brand new, basically.
Yeah, brand new player. And he's just coming in, and he played hardly any games. He's playing in a new position for himself. And you got to give people time. Look at how Williams has come on since we signed him, and he was further along than Richardson. He's older, but I thought he was really good, and obviously he's better on his right foot, so he can be better down that right side. But he's rapid,
yeah,
and he's got good control of the ball. He's got good feet, and he was getting down their right hand side all game, and getting good balls in. So he really deserved that goal, and I'm pleased for him. And we looked a bit. Then we were like, okay, pressure's off a bit here. We're 1-0 up.
Except, I think, was it even quicker than our response against Stevenage?
Was it? Was it quick one?
It was very quick.
Okay.
Yeah, 90 seconds.
Oh, you're right, it was. Yeah, because we were sort of texting about it, and before they'd even... I was kind of holding off because I thought you wouldn't have seen...
The old iPlayer delay.
Yeah. And before anyone could even respond, I'm thinking, oh, well...
and it was this, former Premier League chump, I guess you call him, David Wheater. I don't mean that in an unkind way. He's just kind of a chumpish figure at the back, wasn't he, of several relegation dogfights.
Middlesbrough and Bolton.
Yeah, that's what I remember him from, yeah. He's now at Oldham, and...
Well, we were a bit naive there, and I think we've been caught out a couple of times with this, of the short corner being used against us, and we just don't get the second man out there quick enough. And it was Collins this time. But it was a very quick corner.
Yeah.
They got the ball in the corner and then played it short very quickly. We've got to be more switched on. And we should know this, that when you have two players over to take the corner, two defenders come out.
Yeah.
And we keep only having one defender, one there, and then the other one going, oh, look, better go over there. And he had too much time to cross it in. And then who knows what happened then? It was all a bit of a mess. I'm not sure whether Walker probably could have done a bit better. Who knows?
It seems like he might have from the pictures, but
anyway, then it sort of bounced in. Someone headed it over the line.
Wheater, wasn't it, with his big head?
Oh, it was big. Yeah, big David Wheater.
Then his big head, but his small brain led to another incident not long afterwards. So
now this was classic.
I mean, this was stupid. So Richardson cross, I think. Williams has a shot, and Wheater just on the line.
Yeah.
Absolutely going in at chest height, just sticks his hand out.
Yeah.
In front of everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone saw it. And I don't know why anybody bothered any kind of complaint from Oldham. And I was looking at them.
They really did.
They didn't really, but I was thinking, like, why are you even wasting your breath, pals?
Yeah.
So just pathetic, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, whatever. I don't care. It's not my team, but that is not how you play football.
Straight red and a penalty. So rather than just let the ball go in,
or fling your body at it, even,
but let's say if you do just let the ball go in,
yep,
you're 2-1 down. You've already just
quickly equalised,
very quickly turned around a 1-0 deficit. So there's nothing to suggest you won't be. You're not getting annihilated. They were in the game, Oldham, so there's nothing to suggest you won't be able to do that again.
And this isn't a minute from time.
No, very. First half.
Just before half time, yes.
But no, I know what I'll do. I'll give away a penalty, which is, a very good chance of them scoring anyway. And also I'll put my team down to 10 men. And that was it. Curtains.
Really was.
That was the end of it.
So off he strolls.
Yeah, we all could have gone home then.
Yeah, well, yeah. Except for the players who scored for Exeter City who were very happy to hang around. So interestingly, Jay took the penalty. So he's really fulfilling every kind of set piece role, isn't he? in the absence. I mean, Law's not there obviously because Jay's there, but
yeah. Although you say that, but then in the Stevenage game, there was a free kick on the edge of the box, and it did probably slightly favour the left footer.
Dickinson.
No, Williams took it over the bar,
Did he?
and But yeah, Matt Jay takes the pen. I mean, I was thinking, who's going to have this? Because obviously Law's not on there. Sweeney doesn't seem to take him anymore. And then, yeah, Matt Jay's the obvious person, really.
Yeah, he is.
Even though he's, like,
I've just remembered an incident in the Stevenage match. I'm just thinking about Bowman, really. I was thinking, would Bowman ever have taken that penalty? And that's not really in his skill set. But what is in his skill set was this. I don't know if you could see it where you were. I was sat in the Stansfield. The ball went over the world-famous Julian Tag light display, also known as the advertising hoarding.
Yeah.
And Bowman got there first and was desperately trying to keep hold of the ball, but a defender for Stevenage was trying to get it off him.
I did see this.
Bowman
was quite a bit of this going on, wasn't there?
But he was absolutely, like, his waist was completely bent 180 degrees over the hoarding, clinging to the ball, and this guy was trying to get off him, and Bowman was just going like, no! No! And the ref was miles away and not dealing with it, and it went on for a really long time. Very amusing.
They were doing a lot of that, Stevenage. Just sort of like, didn't one of them actually get off or booked or something by the ref? Just kind of grabbing the ball all the and it was like, I don't know, very strange.
Anyway,
strange behaviour.
So Bowman didn't take the penalty. Matt Jay did, which meant we were 2-1 up at half time. And like you said, curtains. The game was over.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wasn't it? Like, and everyone knew it.
I can't even really remember the order of events after this.
Leave it with me. So to put us 3-1 up, I can't speak. Archie Collins, absolute belter, absolute kablamo.
I mean, he's a way out. Yeah,
he's a really long way out.
If we conceded that goal, are you happy with the keeper there?
No, you're disappointed, aren't you? But it was obviously moving, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, you've got to do better than that.
Got to do better than that, yeah. But Collins put it down to the keeper's right. Keeper couldn't hold on to it or palm it away.
Not as bad. We'll come on to some of the other results later, I imagine. But not as bad as I think it was the goal that...
Leeds?
No. That Plymouth scored.
Oh.
Their 92nd minute winner or whatever.
Oh.
The keeper for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally. It's not even going...
Isn't that Ryan Harley's tribute act, Ryan Hardy, that scored that?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I don't believe they've ever been in the same room together.
Poor man's Ryan Harley.
Yeah, poor man's Ryan Harley. So that was 3-1. Collins delighted, obviously, with that. I think it's only his second goal.
They did a weird goal celebration.
They did.
As a team. It sort of looked like a kind of like...
Looked like Dad's Army going over the top.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they were going for.
Who knows?
They seem too young to know what Dad's Army is.
They're probably more... It's more kind of Call of Duty than Dad's Army.
They do like their computer games.
Yeah.
Much to Ryan Bowman's dismay. Are you following this on Instagram?
No.
All he puts on Instagram are his children going to children's things, as we talked about before, Peppa Pig World or whatever, and disdain for, and I'm doing the inverted speech marks in the air, the youngsters of the team playing their computer games.
Okay.
The thing is, they're all the same age as Bowman anyway, but he's really cross about it.
Not into computer games.
Not into them doing it on the coach and in their hotel rooms. He's raging.
Okay.
Anyway, so maybe it was a Call of Duty kind of celebration.
Maybe. Who knows?
Only Archie Collins can answer us that. And then Jose had a chance. He was running into the box. He almost got knocked down, but he kept running. Another sign of his kind of determinedness.
He was fantastic.
Was he?
Yeah. He holds at the ball so well, that being a good example of when he did it.
Yeah.
His movement is perfect. He's always looking to try and pull away and find the little bits of space. And it was only last night he just couldn't find that tiny little half yard to shoot. But he was being so patient as well. That's the thing. Like when there wasn't a shot there, he'd lay someone else off. He's just really not a selfish player, And obviously he wanted to score, and everyone probably, I think, wanted him to score. And but even though he didn't, it was such a good performance from him. It's so impressive.
Brilliant.
And, I just really think that's. I mean, he stayed on for the 90 minutes, which I think maybe is the first time that's happened.
Yeah, I think Taylor would have wanted him to get the goal, wouldn't he? But in this instant, he could, like you said, he couldn't get the shot away, and he stayed upright despite the Oldham defence's best efforts, and managed to lay it off to Jay, who was on the edge of the box, who put in a really nice cross to Bowman, who scored a really good looping header over the keeper.
Yep.
Again, the question about the keeper, maybe did he come out too quick? But Bowman saw that, and
yeah, perhaps. I mean, that was a big one. Bowman needed a goal, didn't he? And that's the time to be, if you're a striker looking to get back into form and get back to sort of scoring ways, to do it against a 10-man Oldham in front of the big bank is the way to do it.
Indeed it is. And then to take us to the final score of 5-1, which ruined my 6-y jokes, but whatever.
You did them anyway.
I really did. I just forgot that had even happened. Was a Brennan Dickinson free kick, his first goal for the club. Which I don't think was meant to be a goal, Brennan. You can correct me if you want.
It wasn't one of those ones where you just got to stick it in that area and it might go in or someone might get a...
Yeah.
I don't think it's an out-and-out shot, but you just got to... You're aiming towards the goal, aren't you?
Yeah.
So he's not thinking, hopefully this goes in.
No.
I'm shooting at the goal.
But he's probably thinking, if I keep it within the right lines...
You've got to put it into that dangerous...
Yeah.
That's exactly where you want it, around the back post, isn't it? You know, and... I mean, anyone could have got a touch on it, but I don't think anyone
did. It didn't look like it. It looked like it bounced and went in.
So if he had done it on purpose, it'd be very impressive.
Well, he does like a free kick. But that means that City...
That's good, I think, that he's off the mark early. You know? Because we know he's a player who's going to come in, and we want goals from those kind of players. Randall on the other side and him.
Yeah.
And people... That was 5 different goal scorers.
I know.
5 goals, 5 goal scorers. And... I think it's just good that he's off the mark. He's got his first goal for City after, playing only a handful of minutes.
Yeah, that's 3 players who scored their first goal for the season there. Yeah. 2 of whom first goal ever for City.
Yeah.
Well, 1 of whom first goal ever. So excellent. I thought it was really interesting. The Collins shot and the Dickinson free kick, was it a shot, wasn't it? Actually, sometimes this season we've held off having those distant shots when actually it really was worth a go. And hopefully that will start to encourage them a bit, particularly as the pitches are so... shonky at the minute.
Collins is due one. He does pick up the ball in those positions quite often, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he'd had a couple of goes recently. I can remember a couple getting blocked, a couple going, a fair way over the top. But yeah, it's great to have him on the score sheet and getting off the mark for the season.
Very nice. And then there was all sorts of drama. The drama had long finished at City, but in all the other games, so Crewe and Argyle, and Swindon in fact, all managed to get fairly late winners. So
it was an interesting little end of the game because obviously we'd already won the game.
Yeah. Was everyone looking at live
so
score
everyone
on their
just
phones?
had the phones out, and it was like everything seemed to be going our way for a minute.
Yeah.
All the scores were in place. Swindon were drawing.
Yeah.
Crawley were
beating Crewe, were they? Or drawing with them?
They'd equalised at Crewe.
That's right.
Argyle were 2-2 with Salford.
Yeah.
And it was all in place. It was perfect. And then all of those results turned around. Swindon won. Crewe got the late winner, 92nd minute or something. Argyle got the 92nd minute winner. So, and I'm as much as I do look at the other scores, I've always kind of been a proponent of just win your own games, and don't worry about too much what other people are doing. As long as you win your games, it shouldn't matter.
Absolutely.
Come the end of the season. So, it didn't spoil the nice win for me anyway.
Now, what that does do, all those goals, means that we're now on plus 13, which makes us 6th best goal difference in the league. Now, actually, we've been more like 10th, 11th, 12th. Recently, so we've really come on with that.
Yeah, we're finally getting there, aren't we, with the goals?
Obviously Swindon and Crewe both got plus 21, so we're some way off that. But hopefully, there's a chance that Argyle on plus 16, we might need that. And,
maybe.
And we're getting towards that, aren't we?
Yeah.
So the league currently looks like this, Daniel. Swindon top, 33 played, 63 points. Us and Crewe both played 32. Crewe on 61 points and us on 60. Then there's our dear friends in Plymouth, 31 played, 57 points. So they got a game in hand over us. If they won that game in hand, they go equal or above on goal difference. Colchester in 5th. It drops away quite quickly here. So they've played 33 and they've got 52 points. So we're 8 ahead of them in 5th place. and they've played a game more than we have. Northampton sit in 6th, 32 played, 52 as well. Cheltenham in 7th, 31 played, 51 points. Bradford in 8th, outside of the playoffs, 33 played, 51 points. Port Vale exactly the same. They're in 9th. And then it really drops away. Forest Green are well out of the picture now.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting to the point now. We are games. I think there's still about roughly a third of the season left, but you can certainly start to sort of making a few assumptions. I mean, barring anything, a real kind of catastrophe, we will be finishing the playoff places at least, won't we?
Yeah, 14 games left.
But it's starting to look like that kind of battle for the top 3. And that maybe even will end up before long being a battle for 2nd and 3rd place if Swindon sort of pull away, which looks fairly likely, doesn't it?
I mean, it does, but then if we win our game on hand, we're equal with them.
So, that's true. Yeah, but they just don't.
They don't lose.
They don't lose, do they?
No,
so, it's going to be. Yeah, who knows? It looks like maybe it's going to be quite tight, as usual.
It's interesting, of course, that actually we're equal with Cheltenham on the least games lost. So we've only lost 6 games, but we've drawn 9. Swindon have lost 8, but they've drawn 6. And won 2 more than we have. So, actually we've managed to not lose quite significantly, but I think some of our draws, we can think of several examples where we should have won them.
Definitely, but also I can think of quite a few examples where I was very happy with the draw.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
Yeah, that's the way it looks.
That's the way it looks. So Saturday takes us back to Moss Road, home of Macclesfield Town, the Silkmen.
Yep. Sol Campbell's Macclesfield Town.
Yeah, poor old Sol's now suing them for lost earnings.
I mean, get lost, Sol. In a way.
In a way, he's earned it. In another way, you're not helping.
Yeah, he's earned it, but
actually, I don't think he's suing them. I think he's telling HMRC to petition them for sorting it out. Which is different, isn't it? So he's not expecting his money. He's just...
Right, okay. Maybe I won't criticise him too heavily then.
I mean, he did an amazing job. And given that they didn't even pay him, surely he must be like, cheers.
Yeah.
Anyway, they currently sit 23rd. But as you all know, listeners, they've got some problems with the tax man. They may well have points deducted at some point.
Yep.
Now, Stevenage are doing their absolute best to go down. But Macclesfield might manage it if someone intervenes and deducts some points. They've lost 3 of the last 4.
They lost last night, didn't they?
Yeah, but they are better at home. They did manage to beat Forest Green on the 25th of January. Their striker this year is no longer a detective in a wheelchair, but now he plays up front for Macclesfield. His name's Ironside. He scored 6. Do you know they've just signed him?
Well, if your striker's in a wheelchair, then it's no wonder you're second bottom.
He's done well to score 6.
Taxman or no taxman.
Indeed. So, they had to let 3 players go. The contracts got cancelled because of this non-payment and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know they've signed?
I think I know what you're about to say because I've just seen that he came on last night.
Donovan Wilson.
The very same.
The very same. Son of Brian.
Yeah.
He's gone...
The 6th Beach Boy.
The 6th Beach Boy.
Or was it 7th?
There's no sand at Moss Road, just... green. So they've got him. I mean,
on a permanent.
Believe so. He's been in Spain. Did you know that? I think maybe we talked about this.
I think had he not been in Spain before he came to us as well?
He's come back from Spain then. He's Wolves with his owner.
But I think I think he'd played in Spain before he came to us.
Right.
On loan, perhaps. So maybe he just likes out there.
Ola Donovan. Ola.
I mean, presumably now Brexit's kicked in. He's had to come home.
Welcome back, Donovan. Thanks, everyone. So that's what they've got. I mean, he did do that remarkable, kind of an overhead keepy-uppy, wasn't it? That I think he laid off to Bowman. That
Nicky Law.
Was it? Against, I'm really scraping the back of my mind now.
I mean,
it was away last year, wasn't it? Towards the end of the season. We thought it might keep us in the playoff hunt.
Was it even away?
Yeah. Was it? Oh,
I think it was at home.
Oh, blimey. Anyway, Donovan Wilson's gone to Macclesfield. They're not in great shape. But do you know what is in good shape?
No.
Our old favourite, the Silkmen Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
They got new
You can go in
specials.
sort of oat cake or something.
Oh, it's better than that. Yesterday, Tuesday, the special was the breakfast crumpet.
What's on that?
Oh, well, thing number one, it's not a normal crumpet. It's a large square crumpet.
Ooh.
And on it is sausage, cheese, eggs and beans.
On a crumpet?
Yeah.
Interesting. Didn't you once have one of those big crumpets?
I did once have a big crumpet, yeah. It's a very arduous thing to eat.
I've never had a big one.
It's too wide for your face.
Yeah.
You're like in the middle of it when you start eating it. You know, like it's kind of curved around your head.
Do you pick it up?
You had to pick it up. What, you mean use a knife and fork?
Yeah.
No, I didn't use a knife and fork. Maybe that's what I was going wrong. I really should have cut it. But today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So the special today, it doesn't have a name, but it's this. I mean, this is exactly what's on the menu. Hot beef, thick onion gravy, on a bed of... When you normally describe a bed of, you normally go for like rocket.
Yeah.
No. A bed of crispy chips in a bap. Or a Vienna. What's a Vienna?
It's a kind of fancy ice cream that you slice.
That's not going to work, Macclesfield. It'll melt before you've eaten it. So that's what you can get in the Silkmen Cafe this week.
One day we'll go. It's not going to be this Saturday. And it probably won't be...
Honestly, my digestive system could not cope with that.
Yeah, maybe we should just go there anyway, even if...
Next time we're passing
Exeter aren't
Macclesfield.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're going, listeners,
Sort of pilgrimage.
Please go to the Silkmen Cafe and tell us what you have. Unfortunately, the specials aren't as exciting on the weekend. But, you know, go along.
But if you do go along, maybe ask them about what's on next week's special. Or
Please do.
you know.
I'm amazed that it changes. But I like that.
I like it. They're getting creative up there. You know, keeping things fresh.
They love that hot beef.
Wet hot beef.
I don't think it was wet hot beef. Well, it sounds disgusting. Anyway, so that's Saturday. Again, it's a very winnable game. We could well make it 9 from 9.
Yeah, well, when we got 1 from 9 in the previous 3 before this week, we suggested that we needed 9 points from these next 3 to stay in the automatic hunt.
Yep.
And I think after the results last night and at the weekend, that's still true. We need another. We don't need to win it to stay in the automatics. I mean, it's really going to help to sort of keep, obviously, as if, you know, 3 points are always going to help you in promotion. But just, I think, psychologically, to keep us in that conversation and, like, just for momentum's sake.
Yeah.
And we've got to beat those teams down the bottom, haven't we?
We absolutely have. There's another thing that will help us.
The thing about Argyle is that they... you know, they've had this resurgence of form, but they actually only had to play teams from down the bottom of the league, and when they've come up against anyone good,
yes,
e.g. Exeter City, they've capitulated quite spectacularly.
Interestingly, of course, that will also help us stay in the automatics is the fixture on Saturday at Home Park, where Crewe are going.
Yes, that's going to be a
big
good
one,
isn't it?
That's a big one.
What do we want to happen there?
I think we want the draw, don't we?
I always want Argyle to lose.
I always want Argyle to lose, but I think a draw would be very helpful.
It probably would be, wouldn't it?
That would cement us into second if we can topple the Silkmen.
Yeah.
So yeah,
slippery customers.
Oh, they're just so smooth. But yeah, so that's this weekend. There's another thing to tell you about, listeners, before you hear from us next, which is, hopefully for the last time, we have to talk about the leasing.com trophy, one way or another, because we'll either be knocked out against Portsmouth or we'll be in the final at Wembley, bizarrely.
Yeah, when's that? This
semi-final. It's a week. It's Tuesday coming.
Okay.
So that's the journey to Fratton Park, which is a difficult place to go at the best of times.
Yeah.
Portsmouth are in, their pomp. Doing very well in League One. They're currently down to 6th, but actually they've got quite a lot of games.
I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but they've actually got Arsenal in the FA Cup coming up as well.
If you hadn't heard, listeners, through us or someone else...
The main thing we talk about on this podcast is Portsmouth playing Arsenal in the 4th round of the FA Cup.
Interesting, Dan, because it's a Friday night fixture in the FA Cup. So that's on the 2nd of March. So all I'm saying is they got a busy time. It might do us a favour. I think if they play well, we'd struggle to beat them.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
But who knows? One for Lee Holmes.
Yeah, I wonder what he'll do. Will he play? Will he play?
Well, it's quite a strong lineup for the last one, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
I wish we'd gone out. I really wish we'd gone out of this thing now.
Although that was nice to beat Stevenage 3-0, I think that helped us in another sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's assume we're not going to Wembley. I mean, Who knows? Portsmouth's reserves should beat Exeter City. Although I think our under-23s beat them, didn't we?
I think we might have done. What's the other semi-final?
Oh, Salford and I want to say Scunthorpe. Is that right?
Okay.
I'm going to have a look while we're talking.
Salford knocked out Leicester under 23. Why am I even saying these things? You know?
Well, it's interesting in a way.
Thing to say.
Yeah, the other thing about this is there's no easy way to find out. It's very much not on anyone's agenda.
Oh, what a surprise!
Yeah, I know. So yeah, that's next Tuesday. If you go in, it's Newport against Salford. My mistake.
Oh, okay.
So that's next day. Now, obviously, if we do get to Wembley, that's very winnable.
Sort of got to go, haven't we?
Sort of got to go. But Portsmouth won it last year, so that'll be in their interest. And they're not going to beat Arsenal, are they? Probably.
Although, I don't know.
Who knows? Very interesting, all the permutations. That's why we like talking about Arsenal against Portsmouth so much.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's interesting.
So that is the current state of affairs.
I had something to say about that.
Let's hear it.
If you're not going to Fratton Park, I think it's on Sky, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
So you can watch that on your real telly.
Yes, not your tablet.
Here's a question. Can you get iFollow on your telly?
No. I was trying to do it last night.
Have you got a smart TV?
Yeah.
And you can't. It's still no way of doing it.
It doesn't seem to be.
Okay. Actually, you have to have the Exeter City app.
You've got to have the Exeter City app. I mean, yeah, I don't think so. If you can, if there's some loophole, listeners, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I want to know that because that's.
I guess you could plug your computer into your telly. I guess that would be the way to do it.
Okay, and watch it. Right. Okay.
Because you can do that, can't you? That's the thing. But it doesn't let you cast from your app, from your tablet or whatever.
Okay, that's the way to do it. Maybe that's the only way to do it then.
Plug your telly in.
Because it's just weird, isn't it? Otherwise, I mean, why?
Yeah, it's
you
a real
can watch
shame.
it. You can watch this at home. You don't have to go to the game. Pay us £10. You can watch the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, great, cool, thanks. Yeah. One thing, you have to watch it on a tiny little screen. Why? Well, that's just the way we've just
it's a funny
decided
thing,
that. I mean, how hard is it to?
It shouldn't be hard at all.
And is it a licensing issue? I can never understand it.
Well, I'm going to investigate, Dan. I'm going to go home tonight and properly have a go at seeing if you can do it. I don't think you can, but you never know.
Right, okay.
So,
yeah, well,
good question. But yeah, this might be the only time this year we see City on Sky. If we do manage to go up automatically,
oh yeah,
there might not be any more viewings. So that might be interesting for you. They'll have Sam Parkin on the telly, no doubt in my mind.
He'll be there.
Won't
he just? Yeah.
And maybe Kieran Richardson. Did he play for Portsmouth?
Kieran Richardson. Why has he come up again?
Because I think he played for Portsmouth and he's sometimes on the telly.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, there we are. That is all we have to say to you. Remember, you can get in touch with us in all the usual ways. Don't correct us. We know we make a million mistakes. No, please do. We're always happy for corrections. No one's ever corrected us, even though we blunder through this thing like there's
Kieran
no tomorrow.
Richardson's also some guy of Hollyoaks.
Is he? Interesting. Macclesfield and Hollyoaks, they're close together, aren't they? I wonder if the good-looking people of Hollyoaks eat a square crumpet. Anyway, you can get in touch with us in all the normal ways. We're on Twitter, @BigBankPod. We're on email, bigbankpod@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, the Big Bank Theory Podcast. And you can find our podcast in lots of different ways. And remember to leave us reviews. We always like that.
Yeah, obviously, one thing we've forgotten to say is, it's getting boring now. Nigel Aston-Garner is a really good footballer. And I'm glad he plays for Exeter City.
Thank you, Nigel. Thanks for coming.
That's it. I didn't feel like I could let both those last two games go by without giving him some kind of credit.
Okay. Lewis Ward, I don't think is quite back to full strength yet, but hopefully we'll see that come on. I don't know if he would have come back in had Maxted not got injured.
Who knows? Oh, the main thing.
Yes?
The main thing that happened we haven't talked about.
What's that?
Tom Park shitting himself.
We don't know that's what happened.
No, we do know that's what happened.
No, we know he needed the toilet.
Right. Well, the way he was running suggests to me that is what happened. So he runs over to Matt Taylor. You see this? He runs over to the dugout, quick word, and then he's off, legging it down the touchline and down the tunnel, and never comes back. I was thinking, he must be sick.
Yeah.
But apparently he was sick, but it was, yeah, you know.
Sorry, Tom. Sorry to And sorry, listeners, for lowering the tone.
Doesn't it? I mean,
does happen. Lineker, famously.
Oh, exactly. Well, if you're Gary Lineker, you just
embrace it.
Just do it right then and there on the pitch.
I don't think he meant to. I think he lunged.
Did he?
Yeah, that's the story. He lunged for a tackle.
Well, you know.
I don't think he meant to. I don't think he was like, I know what will sort this out. I'll soil myself. So Tom Parks didn't want to go full Lineker.
No, maybe not then. And fair enough. There's a lot of people watching.
It's a nightmare.
Not as many as watching Gary Lineker, but still quite a few. So I'm glad I remembered to mention that. So I
we're all very glad.
You feel better, Tom.
Yes.
Apparently, Taylor didn't know before the game that he wasn't feeling. Had a bit of a jippy.
You know, he's been up the Silk Pen Cafe, hasn't he?
He's probably just looking at the menu, probably enough
Hot
to give
beef.
you the runs.
No, thanks. Man, feel better, Tom. It's that bed of crispy chips that's done you for there, mate.
Yeah.
You're right. That did happen. I'm sorry we forgot it.
Yeah.
In other news, everyone else seems fine. That's that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Well, thank you for listening. Sorry for the tone lowering.
Well, I think we have to cover these things. It did happen, you know.
He certainly covered them.
And some people might not know.
Well, do you know what happened on the commentary? So just to put this out there, obviously I love a night match at St James Park, but my wife was working. I realised too late. I was looking after the children. They were in bed. I watched it on the tablet. That's why I wasn't there. But you get some curious insights sometimes. Because obviously normally when you listen on the radio, you just have to take the commentator's word for it. But when you got the pictures as well, you can sometimes realise the commentator doesn't know what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah?
It's not an easy job. When Parks ran off, he went, oh, the cameraman's just signalled at me and the game has been postponed for 15 minutes.
What?
Yeah, right. Turned out the cameraman was trying to signal to him that number 15, Parks, had gone off.
That's a leap, isn't it?
And he was like...
Was he not slightly kind of confused by the fact that the game was still going on? Well...
I don't know what he thought. And then he was like, oh, sorry, everyone watching it will know what's happened. I didn't know what was happening. So he is also...
So he's not watching it?
I don't know what was going on.
It's quite difficult to commentate on.
His automatic assumption was that the game had been postponed for 15 minutes. I was like, that's a weird thing.
That's a big dump.
Yeah, that's... So that was our insight at home.
Right, okay. Well, in case people haven't seen that Matt Taylor interview and they rely on this for all their Exeter City news...
Rightly so.
Then I'm happy to be able to be the one to tell you that that's what happened to Tom.
Thanks for that. One final thing that you might want to watch is Ollie Watkins has just been interviewed by Clinton Morrison on the Sky Sports website. It's well worth watching. So, I mean, Clinton's obviously like... As we know, Clinton Morrison loves talking himself up. So he's like, I knew you were going to be great. You're going to play for England. I taught you everything you knew. Now, he's doing it with a glint in his eye, but it's worth watching. And Watkins he comes across so well. He's such a good lad.
Oh, cool.
So, well worth watching. Just search Watkins and Morrison. And
I know how to find things on the internet.
And that was more information for our listeners.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.